Hi folks, just thought I'd let you know about the web apps that we now have on the Scorpion Technology website. As you can see, we have the website here, and if we scroll down on the left hand side there's a menu, and the web apps that we have there are the Morse code trainer, the amateur radio quiz, the solar savings calculator, the general radio codes, and the CB radio simulator. So I'll go through each one so you can see what they do. So the Morse code trainer and game, well, if anybody has ever tried to study Morse code and learn Morse code, it's quite tedious and quite boring. I've tried it myself. So what we've done is we've built this app to make it a bit more fun, like a game. And the idea behind it is that you've been stranded on an island. You have a radio that can only do Morse code, and you can hear Morse code coming in. But obviously you don't know Morse code, so you can't respond to the message. And the idea is that by using the app, when you go in and you power the set, click on power the set, it brings you in, and each group of letters that you learn, and when you pass the little test, it unlocks the next group of letters. So you have day 1, day 2, day 3. And the idea is that you get through all the days and you learn the Morse code. You practice by doing the Morse code, and there's a bit of practice there. But the whole idea behind this is to kind of get you ready for the Morse code exam in Ireland, which I believe is 5 words a minute, and that includes letters, numbers, and a punctuation. So if you go up here and you click on the code card, you'll see that there's the code card for all the alphabet, and then you have the numbers, and then you have the punctuation. And obviously you can go to about, tells you all about the actual web app and the settings there as well. So it's just a bit of fun for you to practice Morse code, use it like a bit of a game, but at the end of it, the point is that you should be fast enough to be able to do the Morse code exam. That's the idea behind it. So the next app will be the solar calculator, and for some people interested in solar technology or moving to solar or using solar, this is just an estimate. It's not going to be, completely accurate. It just gives you an overview, and the idea is that you type in your ESB bill, and whether that's monthly or bi-monthly, obviously you're going to be south facing, we're in Ireland, and then your postcode, and you say that you want to add battery storage. If you want battery storage, there's some grants available by the government, and if you want to sell it back to the grid as well, and then you click on calculate, and it will calculate a rough idea. I'll give you a rough idea of the savings. And there's FAQ at the bottom as well, just to kind of give you some information about certain questions that get asked regarding solar calculators and solar technology. So that's the solar calculator. The next one, as some people have probably seen, is the amateur radio quiz. Now there's over 200 questions related to different sections of the amateur radio quiz, and you go into each section, you answer the questions, and it'll give you a percentage of success, and if you're wrong, it'll give you the correct answer, so you know what the correct answer is going to be, and it'll be A, B, C, D. You just select the answer that you want. So if we go into this section here and we scroll down, you can see that it'll say, what should you do if you cause interference? Ignore it, increase power, stop transmitting and investigate, or change call sign. Now obviously the answer there is C, but we can also show the answer if we want. Correct. Stop transmitting and investigate, and we can hide it again. So you have a great way to practice your knowledge on radio. Even if you're just a CB radio operator and you're not a licensed amateur, you can still have a practice with that and get to know the technology. Okay, the next app that we have available on Scorpion Technology is the Code Desk. Now, as we all know, in radio communications, we use the 10 code, the Q code, Morse code, and sometimes a bit of slang as well. So the code desk here is just designed to give you some 10 code sayings, and you can go down the list and you can check out what the 10 code is there. I'm sure there's more, but we have quite a few on there. 10.4, which is well known, acknowledgement, and then obviously you can, if you press on the key it'll actually give you the actual Morse code for that. And if you go into Q codes, it's the same thing. If you go into Morse, you get the letters there in Morse. And if you go into the slang, you'll get the slang as well. 73, best regards, and again the Morse code on that as well. So it's just a handy resource if you're stuck to understand the Morse code key or Q code or 10 code. You can go up to the website and you can check it out. The other app that we have, some people want to have a play around with CB radio, and maybe they're new to CB radio and they don't have the technology. So what we did here is just have a very, very basic CB radio simulator where people can go in and learn how to use a CB radio. So you build your station. So you have your power supply, your SWR meter, your antenna, you wire them all together. It goes through the whole process of doing that. Then you tune and calibrate. So you check your SWR and you calibrate your SWR to your antenna. And then you go live. So you see a conversation happening on screen. And then when you go down to the next section on air, then what happens is you will actually have a conversation with a radio operator. So you key up the mic and you speak out, you read out what comes up on the screen, and when you unkey the mic, the operator comes back to you and talks to you. It's just a very basic simulator for people to have a play with if they've never used CB radio before, because sometimes people are mic shy when you have a CB radio and you don't want to go in and talk. So this is a great intro, especially for kids. If you want to have a go and have a practice using CB radio, they can do this. So there you go, that's a list of the actual web apps that you can find on the Scorpion Technology website on the left hand side on the Learning Center. And also just to add that the CB radio handbook, the Irish CB radio handbook, for international customers who want to buy the book, if you go into the actual book itself on the Scorpion Technology website, in the information about the book at the end there is a link for international customers. All you have to do is click on that and they can purchase it direct from our publisher. For CB radio operators or amateur radio operators or customers in Ireland, they can purchase it direct from the website. There's no problem there. Cheers.